Emmanuel Hostin, the husband of The View host Sunny Hostin, has been accused of widespread insurance fraud, and Sunny basically admitted to it on camera. Let's talk.
Like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance, and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life.
True sign of the apocalypse is someone that dumb has a law degree. So that makes Sunny Hostin, who thinks climate change caused the solar eclipse, the dumbest of.
The irony surrounding Sunny Hostin's husband's alleged ties to a $450 million fraud case is so thick, it practically comes with a subpoena. Meanwhile, Gutfeld and Kat Timpf are roasting Sunny harder than a Thanksgiving turkey, relishing every moment of the scandal. Their jokes are so sharp they might just slice straight through those rumored offshore accounts.
You look tantalizing. You know, I make fun of The View a lot, but that's only because they keep talking. Because COVID also taught Sunny Hostin how to get her groceries delivered.
3 years, that's when I discovered Instacart, and I give them a big tip because they don't always pay their people well, and it's so that's been an issue, I think, for the company. But man, you can get toiletries, you can get fire logs.
Fire logs? She had to tell the audience that she tips big because even she knows she sounds insufferable.
Emmanuel Manny Hostin, an orthopedic surgeon and husband of The View co-host Sunny Hostin, is accused in December lawsuit fraudulently billing insurance. By the way, this is a Daily Caller story I'm reading. The lawsuit alleges Hostin knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services in exchange for kickbacks and or compensation, and names him among nearly 200 defendants in one of New York's largest RICO cases.
Sunny Hostin, who often casts herself as America's moral compass, likely woke up that morning ready to deliver another self-righteous monologue on The View. But while she was busy judging everyone else's ethics, karma was busy writing headlines that hit like a judge's gavel. Turns out, her husband is now entangled in a fraud case so massive, it makes Bernie Madoff look like he was running a neighborhood lemonade stand.
And I just want to hit myself in the face so I can feel something. You know, it's like so boring. He's like, yeah, I like Instacart, but don't worry, I tip the poors. But, you know, Joy, you actually don't like Instacart, and you do like the store. And then Joy is like, yeah, I do. I like to go to the store. I like to walk around and see what's at the store, what I do want, what I don't want. Maybe I want tuna fish, and I just want to hit.
And sure enough, Greg and Kat didn't waste a second cutting to the chase. To them, this wasn't just another segment. It was a 5-course feast of hypocrisy, served with a generous side of smug satisfaction. With every punchline, Gutfeld metaphorically licked his fingers, while Kat Timpf laughed like she'd been saving up receipts for just this moment.
It's about The View. It's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Like it's like here, let's look at this political oddity. You know, it's like it really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows. Well, let me rephrase that. But The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. You know, how can you now speak the truth and when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much. We were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're an honest scum.
Let's face it, if hypocrisy were a luxury brand, Sunny Hostin would be The View's top salesperson. For years, she's dished out lectures on morality and ethics, often sprinkled with a touch of condescension. But now, her own household looks like a deleted scene from The Wolf of Wall Street. And as for Kat Timpf, she's practically gleeful, watching Sunny's carefully polished halo crack and crumble under the harsh glare of public scrutiny.
Witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say. Hit it, Gladys.
He said that Gutfeld talks about you all the time.
Who is he?
Really, who is he? I don't watch the show.
He has a show.
I don't watch the
never
show.
Heard of him.
Yeah.
I guess he's just obsessed with me.
Next, Joy's gonna say she's never heard of carbs. Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair. But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. It now smells like a humid day inside Joy Behar.
The whole fiasco played out like a poorly written drama, riddled with plot holes big enough to drive a Range Rover through. Gutfeld even pitched Sunny a new show idea, Allegedly Yours, where she dishes out scathing commentary from her moral high ground while dodging subpoenas. Meanwhile, Kat Timpf, in her signature deadpan, suggested a more fitting title, Financial Crimes and Finger-Wagging, a guide to having it both ways, complete with courtroom drama and brunch-worthy gossip.
All right, Kat, did you ever see such a group? It's amazing how Joy and Whoopi became the smart ones.
For me, the most shocking thing about the conversation was how truly boring it was. They're like, well, the cicadas, they're cicadas. Okay, but it was like every 100 years. No, it's every 17 years. Do you know how many Emmys this show has? 31.
31 Emmys?
This show has 31. I mean, I'd hate to see the conversations that don't make headlines.
Like a smug cat knocking over a priceless vase and pinning it on the dog, Greg strutted through the chaos unfazed. He casually remarked that Sunny's moral high ground was crumbling faster than the View panelists trying to explain economics without cue cards. Meanwhile, Kat Timpf watched the spectacle unfold with the grin of someone witnessing the season finale of her favorite reality show. Only this time, the quirky houseplants were filing defamation suits.
Sausage maker Johnsonville is recalling more than 42,000 pounds of pork sausage for possible contamination with plastic fibers. Fortunately, authorities were able to track all 42,000 pounds to a single location in New York City.
Never one to be outdone, Gutfeld suggested Sunny's next appearance feature a giant game show wheel with categories like selective outrage spin and fraud privilege. Backstage, producers were frantically whispering into earpieces, scrambling to keep the $450 million elephant just out of frame. Quick, bring up Meghan Markle, someone probably yelled, desperate for a distraction from the unfolding PR disaster.
No, I'm also not surprised that there's one part of the video from the show yesterday that you left out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, can you roll that, please?
I don't watch the show that much, but I've seen it.
Who is that? Who is that?
Greg Gutfeld's one of the hosts of The Five who... If I don't have anything nice to say, I generally don't say anything at all. I would just say this. The show should be called Kat Timpf, not Gutfeld, because she's the funny one on it.
Somebody's flirting with little Kat over here.
Well, she's the Republican one at the table, but I just think as a libertarian, I'm always looking to find common ground with other people because nobody really shares my politics. So I find some common ground in The View where she thinks I'm funny and I agree.
At this point, The View resembles less a talk show and more a sanctimony factory, where accountability gets quietly shipped to parts unknown, and self-righteousness is cranked out like a wrecking ball aimed at a glass house. Gutfeld and Kat Timpf cranked the snark to full volume, tearing through the show's hypocrisy with the precision of seasoned satirists on a mission. The best part? The sheer scale of the alleged fraud. This wasn't a botched tax return or an unpaid parking ticket. We're talking numbers so massive they'd make Wall Street CEOs raise a glass. And Kat Timpf wasn't about to let the irony slide. If a Republican were caught in a scandal like this, The View would have launched a week-long ethics crusade. But when it's one of their own, suddenly the moral high ground gets awfully quiet.